Want to make tortillas this morning, so make YouTube content win-win. I have the usual suspects. I have flour, salt, water, about room temperature water, baking powder, and I'm going to use butter again. I think butter is the easiest, best way to make a tasty tortilla. So we're going to get into it, put all the ingredients together, and hopefully they come out again. Let's get started here. We'll put in our dry ingredients first. I'm gonna put in 2.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, making sure, I think it's 3 tablespoons with that piece of that butter, but I want to make sure I put in the right amount. This is the moment where I realized that I was using the teaspoon measurer and not the tablespoon measurer. So I'm okay with butter, but I'm not okay with the baking powder. Oh no, I am right with the baking powder. It's the butter that thought I was off. This is why I'm not a professional baker. This is why I'm just an amateur, and this is why I just do this stuff on YouTube that nobody watches. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody's okay. So a teaspoon of salt. So I put in a teaspoon of salt. Okay. And 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. The bigger one was the butter. So now we're all here together. My hands are washed, of course. So now I'm gonna mix this guy up. Using this bowl with these tall walls allows me to get a real nice mix on it. I think that's a key factor in all of this. Getting a nice, good mixture in. That way I can make sure that the butter is distributed evenly and coating the flour, salt, and baking powder evenly and well, so that way the tortilla will rise properly and have a good flavor. Give them a nice good mix. Set it out for some, spread it out just a bit. I'm gonna add I have 3/4 of a cup of water here. I'm gonna add around half of that. And see how it goes. If I need more, it's better to have to add than have to add more water than to add more flour. The dough's starting to feel really nice in my hand. So now it's just a matter of I'm just making sure there's no dry spots in there at all, which are bad. But the dough it feels like dough, it smells like dough. I think I'm in good shape. Now I just have to knead it for a little bit. I'm gonna try to do at least 5 minutes, but probably around 7 or 8. So here I go. So now I've been kneading it for a little bit, and the dough, this is the best feeling dough I've ever made out of the 4 times. So now what I want to do, put it down in the bowl, let it sit for about 20 minutes or so. I'm going to put a wet towel over the top of it. So we'll be back in 20 minutes or so. It's been 20 minutes. Let's take a look. Looks pretty good. Looks the way it should, sorta. I like a little more rise. Oh, but you can't see it that well. But if I press in, it bounces back pretty well. I forget if that's good or bad. Which, I should remind you, I'm not an expert. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm doing this because I want some tortillas too. So now the next part, the easy part, the easier part at least. Break these guys up, put them in the tortilla press, and start making them. Now this dough feels pretty good. Let's see how it. Pretty elasticy, pretty good. We want it to really stretch out. The thinner, the better, so that way you don't have thick spots that don't cook well, and you get like more, even like raw in some cases. So look at how I stretched it out like this, and it stayed. This, folks, is perfect. Exactly what I want. This is 6 inches for reference, so that's a pretty good size. That's a usable size. That's something I can actually cook some eggs and bacon and put it inside, and it'll hold. Now we got to see if they'll cook right. Got a pan warming up. Let's look at that. Got my pan nice and hot. Non-stick pan, nice and hot. Let it sit. This thing's hot. I can feel, I can hear it moving. I think it's gonna be okay. It's bubbling up just a little bit. I'd like it to bubble up more, but good color. It's coming along really nicely. It's a little bit thicker than I like on the edges. I need to flatten those out in the next one, but I think I like the color on it. The color looks good. The texture feels right. Give it another few seconds heat. Make sure it comes up good. But I think we're in pretty decent shape. Let's take it off. Let's give it the taste test, the most important thing. So we have our tortilla. Like I said, it's a bit thicker than I like. Ooh, it's still boiling hot. Who'd have thought? I took it off a hot. Oh, that burned my hands. I felt the sting start to hit me, but okay. Definitely good. I give myself a B+ on this easily. And like I said, good size. What you want is it to be functional, because sure, I could eat it like that and it's actually pretty tasty. What I like to do is put a little cheese in it, maybe. What I'm going to do now, make these tortillas and then make some eggs, put some eggs in them, maybe some bacon, and then we're good to go. So this guy, this is my tortilla this time around. This is the 4th or 5th time. I think this is the 5th time. Oh no, this is the 4th time. The 4th time came out really nicely, really tasty, and I'm very happy with it.